This week on Hey the Parents, we're focusing on the small things that every day goes unnoticed, but the way that we show love as parents. It's not the big moments, not the vacations or the celebrations. It's kind of the quiet stuff. We'll share the small things that we do and the moments that remind us what parenting actually is. Because in Hey the Parents, it's an honest discussion about raising kids. I'm Michael Heit.
And I'm Mike Levine.
Kids don't come with a handbook, so we need your help.
Where do babies come from?
Where do you think they come from?
Is this a kissing book?
Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
I learned it by watching you.
There are no rules in this house. I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
We sent them to the best boarding schools. We hired the best nannies. We did everything right.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
No drinking, no drugs, no kissing, no tattoos, no piercings, no ritual animal slaughters of any kind.
Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
This is Hey Other Parents, an honest, messy, imperfect show for raising kids.
Hey, welcome back. It's us again.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Oh, man, I'm so glad that you guys are here to hang out with us. As Mike Levine yawns and cheers, and he just shows his vocal range on season 5 of Hey the Parents.
Tried to get that Mariah Carey feeling.
That was it. And you know what? You are, Mike Levine. You're not like a lip syncing New Year's Mariah Carey. You're like her in her prime.
Yeah, that's it,
Real
man.
deal.
That's
it.
I'm no joke, guys. No joke.
No jokes. So for our current listeners, you know what you're in for. Those of you coming to this podcast for the first time, you're wondering, is it a singing podcast with Mike Levine? It could be. Who knows? But without further ado, so it's season 5. We took a little break. We're back. And, we were sitting here this morning, and Mike Levine was getting his coffee. He came back, and Sara and I were trying to guess what flavor of creamer he's putting in. And as it would have it, it turns out it was, in fact, French vanilla. But Mike Levine did tell us that there's a butterbeer. There's a butterbeer additive. That sounds weird. There's a butterbeer creamer you can add to your coffee. And, Mike Levine, Imperio.
It's. Podcast. Let me tell you something. It's very magical. It can be very magical, the butterbeer. All right, it can, but it also could be a little bit overwhelming. You know.
You have the mood for it then. Okay.
Yeah. You know why? Because you want your coffee. You like your coffee a certain way, but you want to try something different. So I picked up the butterbeer, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's too much.
All I can say is Levio. So what are we in for today, Saturday?
Well, this episode we are chatting about how we show up for our children in the small ways, whether they notice it or not.
So, we've done a lot of big topics, right? We've done big ones, the moments that are we're going to talk about big things everyone's thinking about, everyone's noticing. And then sometimes you have these moments where you're like, what about these little small things that, so small that maybe even your spouse doesn't notice, or maybe you should be noticing that they're doing, or however that seems to work out or doesn't. But this is about the small things that you guys do, at home to get those kiddies out the door or through their day, or they're fed or they receive their portion of snack. Who knows? Whatever it is,
or not, or don't do, right?
Or don't
because
do.
Sometimes they have a different perspective. Our kids, you don't do enough, guys. You don't do enough sometimes.
Well, that's very inspiring, and we all feel it. But the thing is that speaking of whether they care or not, let's jump into the first part. Was everyday care. So this is kind of like the things that you do on a regular basis. The quiet, unsung hero called the parent in the house that just gets their kid through, whether they notice or not. Mike Levine, he's ready. He's got his hat on backwards. He's ready to do over-the-top arm wrestling. Tell me about the Levine household. What is it that you guys do to show, maybe not even show, but to put a little extra glaze, a little extra love on it to help your kids know that somehow they are well cared for.
Dude, can I just tell you, I try to help my children with their everyday care. All right, I try to help them. I create schedules. I create little cool toothbrushes.
You create toothbrushes?
Well, I don't
It's like a
create
side
them. I go out and buy them with the little, frozen people characters on them,
Yep.
and all you need to do
spin-off.
is just get your little friend the toothbrush with the frozen character on it and brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. That's it.
I think my new favorite thing is you dancing around not knowing the characters from Frozen. So
it's just like, why is it so hard? I don't know. I in the Levine household, all right, I don't know what it is. I could put out, or I could buy the coolest toothbrushes. I could set out the schedules. I could do all the reminders and help them out as much as I can. But for some reason, we forget to brush teeth.
Oh man.
The everyday care is the struggle bus here for the Levine household.
that's it. The struggle bus. Amazing.
I mean, do you guys have the same issue with like when your kids were super young, right? And just like
Mike, your kids are going to middle school now.
Teeth.
It's
Yeah.
They're going. Well, yeah, I know. Lucas is good with it now, but like the elementary years, they were tough. They were tough to.
So I will, not to throw Julian's business out there, but you gotta do like a breath check with him. The dragon breath. But like one of the things I've learned to do was that, and I was like, this is not you don't need this every day, but I do pack in his little backpack. And now he's taking them and brings them to his locker. Those little portable toothbrushes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's like a little thing that we do. Like that way, like if he's like ever like feeling like he ate something kind of smelly, or he's like, I don't know if I brushed my teeth, like and mind you, he's also 12 years old, so like he's not gonna like eat it, lose it, or whatever. So definitely not for the small kids, but that's something like I do. Like we did this year because he's at the age now like he wants to smell good, look good, and sometimes we kind of forget some of the parts,
Yeah. And to speak to that, I did something similar like that. I created, so we have like one bathroom that we all share with like the shower and the good shower, right? Yeah, so you got the bags, and it works out really well because they have all their little stuff in there. Like Lucas has his smelling good things and keeping care of himself things, and Ellie, and it's like a little college dorm where you bring your bag and you take care of your everyday needs.
I love it. Yes.
That's amazing. And then do you have the Adidas flip-flops for them too that they have to go into the shower kit?
Yeah, the little Adidas flip-floppies. So you hear them go click, 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 click as they walk into the shower.
That's how you know that it's That's how you know that it's they gotta wait their turn. You have to click, click, click the whole way.
Yeah.
Speaking of toiletries, like that's something like I do like for Sophia and Julian. Like if I go out into the wilds and I see like it on sale or something like that, I'm like, ooh, they like the scent, or again, especially like Sophia likes to smell good all the time, and Julian's emerging into that, taking care of ourselves just besides soap and water. So just making sure like we have like all that stuff, and then what I do like to do is like leave it in their room. Like, so like anything like I see for Sophia, like I'll leave it like on her little vanity, or like Julian, like I'll just put it in his little cart that he has. That's always a mess, but I put it in there, and never do I get a real thank you, maybe an acknowledgement once in a while, but like, it's just like the small little things, like it's like a little surprise, like, oh, the deodorant fairy came today.
Oh my God, I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say the little fairy shows up. That is really funny. Oh my God. So that's pretty smart. You put this thing, like, it's almost like it's just there, they see it, and then you're like, it's always been here.
Right, I guess so, maybe in their head, but I put it in a spot where they could see it, acknowledge it, maybe, in their brains, and put it where they want to put it, but like, yeah. So I'll just see stuff or whatever. I'm like, oh, they need this, they need that.
I like the sneak attack. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes me happy. Probably it's more about me than them.
And because you smell it or you see it or put like a little lip balm, whatever it is. It does the justice. It's pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, but also, what about laundry? Like doing their laundry for them and stuff. Like doing that little extra, like making sure their laundry is all good and pressed and smelling nice.
It's everyday care, not servitude. Man.
Well, yeah, exactly. I gave up on going above and beyond, doing the little extras. Hope that they notice. Guess what? They didn't. So, guess who does their own laundry now? They do.
You did it? You finally made the jump. Season 5 is Mike Levine's. Yes. That's it. It's happening, man. Well done.
They do their laundry, and I have to now remind them every day, because if they don't, they will have stinky clothes. Because I am on strike, Taylor's on strike. We are no longer doing laundry.
I love it. Strike.
They are doing laundry.
Nice.
Yes.
I saw that light just flicker around. I thought Taylor was gonna walk in and be like, "You're not telling the truth. You did no." I don't know.
No, that was Ellie as she walked past me and looked at me as I said that they're doing their own laundry now.
Oh, and what kind of look did you get?
It was the look of death. But I love you. But the look of death.
Nicely done.
Like they do all this very pedestrian things like laundry.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny too.
So now, Levine, like that, your children are becoming independent little peoples, and being inducted into the servitude of doing their own laundry that they create, because we love to say that all the time. Once in a while, like when I see like Sophia's like doing her laundry, she's kind of busy, like, and I'll see like it ends, like the cycle, whatever. Like I'll take it up in the dryer for her, because you know what? Like I'm trying to show her. Maybe one day, that, like when she sees my laundry in there, that she'll take it out and put it in there. There's no hope.
No.
There is no hope. And then Julian, but we're trying to teach him to do, like, be a little more responsible. He still needs more guidance.
Yeah, but the handoff is good, because, like, that's the thing. Like, if you're having your kids do it, and then all of a sudden, like, there's, like, a break in the chain, and now, like, an hour goes by or 2 hours go by and no one's swapping stuff, you're delayed. You got to get that laundry going.
Right.
So you got to teach them to, like, if yours is done and you got to transition to the dryer, or your stuff's in the dryer, you can't leave the stuff that's in the in the washing machine just sitting there. You got to move it in, and you got to get the next one going. Communication, baby.
And I think that's on a serious note, though. Like, I think that's my struggle as a parent is, when the kids, well, one of them, because like when they're kids, you do everything for them, right? Yeah, and then you try to go above and beyond, and you try to do all these little things that you hope that they notice and that they pick up on, and that becomes a part of them, But then it's like weaning them off of that so that they can be, this individual, self-sufficient, adult, and that's, I think, kind of the struggle here that I'm noticing is like, hey, listen, I still love you. I still do those little things for you, but I need you to start doing for yourself, and, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because, you have that natural nurturing instinct, right? And you want to not let them struggle, right? But they need to. They need to be smelly sometimes so that they understand. Yes, so that they understand, oh man, I got to put on deodorant, or I got to brush my teeth, or and I don't know. It's just hard,
But I kind of think that
it's always a balance.
The balance, yeah. But Sarah, do you like kind of the jumping in and doing the little things, like, like when that Chromebook is not charged, that's it. You gotta like be like, like if you leave it in the charger, and then you get, the moment you're like, oh, you probably don't want to leave that behind. Like, oh yeah. But that's like, like the thing that the little thing for me is probably like all about that, like getting them like out the door. That's kind of the thing. Like, so for us, it's just taking care of their water bottles and getting them all cleaned and washed and filled up again for the next part of their day, where it's like, whatever the activities you're running around. I think something that my wife does is definitely, like, without a doubt, like that little care thing is like when you're, you go to family outings and that moment where like, it's probably more survival for us, but the idea of like packing like a little bag or something with like activities and things to do, or like, you know, the infamous Michael Heit clipboard. We have to start them young. The thing is with clipboards is if you're going to use them in your life, you got to start young. So we have a little clipboard for the kiddos, and we put like little papers and pens, and they could like draw and stuff. It's pretty good.
No, that's smart, because then it's like it keeps them happy, and you know, like they're entertained, because sometimes, you know, they don't want to play the toys that they got at a family outing, or it's like all adults,
right,
and it's kind of boring, you know.
Do you guys you know, like when you're packing lunches, you know, when they're younger and stuff, trying to eat some fruit, do you find like yourself like cutting the fruit like certain ways, and you're like, this is a right size bite, you know, not trying to causing choking hazards
only
here.
Only grapes.
Grapes freak me out. Like round spiracles of death. They're a little scary. Yeah. Strawberries are like wild because of different sizes.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what it is with grapes. I have like a fear of grapes, and I always make sure that they're cut up, you know, for the especially for Hayden, you know. But even like now, as my kids are older, like am I like baby them, because sometimes I either don't buy the grapes, or if I buy the grapes,
you chew them up and baby bird it, or no?
Baby bird that. I don't know what it is. I got a fear about grapes. I don't know.
You know what? We all got our own thing. That's okay. You know what?
I know.
And then like,
you know what? When it comes to the fruit, you know what I do like to do is find the weird looking fruit, because I know my kids get a kick out of that stuff. And like,
we like the weird looking fruit of like whatever the thing is, like the weird ones in the package, or like you find just in general weird fruit.
So no, we just buy the fruit, and then there's like a weird one, like a really small one, or a really big one, or one that's like, you know, like a Siamese.
Grape that thought it could try harder but just never got to the right height. Yeah.
or like a conjoined, like, you know, like strawberry or something like that, like 2 in 1. I like to pack those ones in the lunchbox, because
it's amazing.
Something like, because I'm like, this is brighten my day. Like,
do they laugh? Do you ever mention to them?
No, but usually, like, well, they won't. I don't mention like I do on purpose, but like they usually will be like, "Mom, you gave me like the smallest grape ever." I'm like, "Wasn't it the funniest?" You know. So
I gave you the small grapes, so you'll appreciate the regular ones.
The little baby one, you know, gotta put it in there. You know, like just like a
the
little
ugly,
treat.
like the ugly carrot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's great. And then they notice it too. The fact that they notice it too, you know, oh, Mom did that little extra thing again. She gave me the handicap kind of weird fruit.
Oh my god! On April Fool's Day, you should just put like one little grape in there. What just happened?
That'd be really funny. Actually, I should.
Get a phone call from the school. Be like, yeah, they want to buy lunch.
Oh, he's kind of hungry. He says my mom feeds me enough.
Also, kind of like, I also feel like we kind of like try to play like the control game of like choosing the right snacks that balance out to get them through the day. You'd be like, you know, you'd be like, you're not having, especially the little 6-year-olds, you know who you are. Like there's no way in the chance in hell that you're getting a sugary sweet snack to go with that Chobani flip that you just flipped into candy into your yogurt. You are not getting Oreos to go with that. That's out.
That's dessert.
So maybe that kind of sneaks us in the next topic. It's probably like an invisible fixing, which really sounds like mostly what we're doing. The everyday care, if people knew we were doing it, it probably would be less invisible. But I guess it is kind of invisible. So what are some of the invisible things you do? Well, Sarah D, like we have like a little charging station. I kind of jokingly mentioned that before, but we put like the power strip, like kind of like where they do their homework and stuff like that. And one thing that is really not inspiring to me is untangling Ethan's headphones for the 17th time as he goes through life and finds ways to twist them around and turn them into like one big knot. But you know, you mentioned like putting things like kind of like by their bedside. I kind of like that.
Yes.
Like putting things where they're going to remember is probably like, you know, like you think you're being so like subtle as a parent, and probably kids like 10 years from now be like, you know, you didn't need to put my violin or cello by the front door. And I'm like, well, what do you mean?
Exactly.
I don't know how it got there. Maybe you did it before you went to sleep.
Yeah, no, like that. I would do that with Julie and Sophia stuff. Like I put the backpack, you know, like at night, you know, not every day or early in the morning. You know, you see like the wayward Chromebook just roaming around, and you're like, is this charged? And I look, I'm like, 2%, you know, and maybe that is their part of their plan, the evil plan, you know, to like,
I'll shape
to,
you.
like say to the teacher, my Chromebook's not charged. I need to sit in the back now. You know, I don't know. But
Sarah walks by and unplugs her Chromebook. Take that.
I charge it again. You know, I put it there, put it by the you know, like the backpack, you know, so that way when it's time to leave, they will just be like, oh wow, look at that, 20% now. Like you're welcome.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like obviously, like I think like Mike Levine and I joked about this. I think it was like last season when Sarah D were like, man, you know, where would we be without Sarah D? Because like I think of like, you know, we talked about the different responsibilities and roles and you know, gender stuff and sometimes moms pulling a lot more weight with certain things. And like they're like, you know, obviously like Mike Levine and I were joking about shoes and stuff when Sarah were quizzing us and about clothes. And like I think I mentioned like, you know, how my kids would probably have like clam digger style pants up to their knees and be like, oh, they probably need new pants now. My wife's like, why didn't you notice? But the thing I think is kind of fun is kind of like shadow dropping some new T-shirts into their drawers where they like didn't even know you did it, and then like, you know, my kids will be like into like, you know, whatever it is, like a video game or a show or something, and then I'll buy some shirts, like, you know, whatever, like on Woot, they're cheap, whatever, and then I'll kind of like sneak them in, and they get so excited with like a new, you know, it was like $3, $4, whatever, $5, even just like whatever.
The T-shirt fairy comes.
The T-shirt fairy. I am the T-shirt fairy. I am not very good at other fairing, but when it comes to T-shirts, I'm your guy. I am the Woot T-shirt fairy.
Oh my god, that's awesome, man.
There's a lot of fairies in my house. Like, we have like the seltzer fairy.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, like we put seltzers in the fridge, but then like when it's like gone, I'm like, oh no, and that's usually Gene's job because he likes a cold seltzer.
I'm like Gene, once again. Gene and I are fancy. We don't listen. Your belly needs to have a nice cold seltzer.
Yes.
It needs to be ready for anything. You can't be warm.
At any occasion, right? So like,
and ask Gene how many ice cubes he likes, because I feel like he probably likes, you know, 3 or 4. You know?
He likes a lot. He likes a lot.
You see?
He does. Yeah. See, he's fancy.
I'm pointing to you, Gene, in approval.
You know, like we'll open the fridge and I'll be like, oh no, a seltzer fairy came. He's like, oh gee, no one else could do it. I'm like, no, it's much better when the seltzer fairy comes.
You're like, well, without the seltzer fairy, apparently nobody would be doing it.
Right, exactly. Funny how everyone likes a cold seltzer, but no one does. So that's Gene. I'm gonna shout out Gene. Gene's the seltzer fairy. In the
Nicely
house.
done.
But we do, you know what I do sometimes also is like if we have like a really cool snack or something like that, like maybe I made like cookies and like maybe too many cookies, I'll pack like extra and I'm like, Julian, give it to your friends, like, you know, like share.
That's
so
smart.
that way like he feels like the cool guy. I feel like, you know, maybe he doesn't realize they're doing it on purpose.
That's a solid move.
I want him to like feel like, hey guys, y'all know, and like share.
You know, snack time is like legit time in school. So it's like, oh, yo, what do you got for snack?
Season 5, snack time.
Oreos.
Snack time is legit time. Mike Levine, 2026.
You know, because you know they're doing their insider trading at snack time.
They
They're
are.
like, oh my god, Julian's got Oreos. Hey, no.
Yeah.
Johnny's got cheese doodles. You know?
Right.
No, don't even say that.
For one.
You're gonna think that like Julian's bartering off of all the nice stuff that Sarah made him. And he's like, you homework on Friday. You cheese doodles tomorrow.
Exactly.
Oh man.
You know, that or or extras like fork or spoon, because he mentioned that like, you know, like the plastic ones, of course, that the kids, they like to share, his group of friends, like a lot of their moms like make like nice lunches and things like that, or dads, and he's like, oh, like, you know, so and so's dad made these really awesome tacos with like steak or something, we all had a bite or something like that. I'm like, oh, awesome. So like so
you're all gonna be sick on Tuesday?
Basically. Not with actually forks, because, you know, I'm like, use a fork, and like you give out to your friends.
Hikins is so weird for you when they're younger. They don't even. It's wild. They're like, oh, you drank out of that? I'll lift it above my mouth. I won't make contact with the drink
like
that you have the
air.
backwash in, but it's fine because I won't get. Oh my god, that's hysterical. Well, what about the emotional stuff? What about the stuff that you do that you like? You know, you get maybe you're their cheerleader, or you're coaching them, or you're whatever it is. You know, you're spreading that pixie dust awesomeness. How do you get the emotional? How do you get that in there? The emotional stuff, the stuff that keeps them going.
Oh man, like I don't know if you guys ever did it, but like the little notes in their lunchbox.
Yes.
Oh man,
I don't know if you guys have done those. I'm sure you have.
Unparalleled.
The notes of just inspiration, just throw them in there. Once it takes a few seconds to do like a nice little thing, a nice little message, and you just hope. I always wonder, did they read it, or did they see it? Because they're excited about their lunch, right? They want their Oreos, they want their sandwich, but did they see that Daddy drew a little dinosaur and said have a roaring day or something like that,
He's like, I know, how many jokes do you have of like a T-Rex with like his hands are too short to do stuff? I feel like you must have used that a couple times.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it. I feel like I've talked about this like 85 times. So when Jacob first went to kindergarten, we didn't put any notes in, and then the first day he comes back, our neighbor and him, we've been friends a little bit before kindergarten, Amalia, and they were so young at the time that we didn't even know about this note thing, and she was like kind of like learning to read, and Jacob was able to read like really simple words, whatever. And Jacob came home and he's like, I helped Amalia read her note. I'm like, what note? Did the teacher give her a note? She's like, no, her parents put a note in her box. I was like crushed. I'm like, no. I'm like, my child read the note for the other kid. I'm like, So we are 9 years if you kindergarten. 9 years into making notes for our kids, minus one day.
That's
adorable. That is awesome.
I do one for every kid.
For Jacob still?
I do for Jacob. And when Jacob got to, I think 7th grade, maybe, he told me he would appreciate the note on the dining kitchen table in the morning instead of the note in his lunchbox. but you know what? He still reads it, and I think it's so sweet. Makes me so happy.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Okay.
But I'm so needy. I'm so needy.
I weaned off on the notes.
I'm so needy that I'm like, it makes me so bummed out. I'm like, did you read your note? I'm like Mike Levine. I'm like, oh god, if they didn't read it, that crushes my soul. Because and then like every so often, one of my kids will be like, they were gonna bring their lunch, and then they changed to buying their lunch, and then somehow like in the transition of changing their mind, the note's still in their lunchbox. It's in the refrigerator from the day before, and I'm like, oh. They didn't see the efforts. They didn't see the note. I wonder if they went through the day the right way, because those words.
Sophia kept all her notes, and then she would use them as like little coloring pages.
No
and
way.
Like, she had a whole stack.
Oh, that's so cute.
I didn't know what she did with them. I thought she threw them out, but no, she kept them in her lunchbox.
So as you know, your friend Michael Heit has a little trouble with organizing things sometimes, as we shared a desk years ago with my papers. So I have all these notes. I don't know what to do with them. And my wife is like, so like when I first started, I was handwriting them. And then I kind of moved to like just do it on like iPad, computer, whatever. And like, she's like, wait, the ones that you did on the computer, those are saved digitally, right? She's like, yeah. She's like, throw them out. I was like, what? She was like, just make a book or something. Like, make like one of those, they make those photo books or whatever else. You could do something like that. Like, that's actually a pretty good idea. So I have to separate out the ones that are like handwritten and like drawn, so I could like scan them in or like whatever. But I think it'd be really cool like when they go to college. Like, or like whatever. Like actually, it might embarrass the crap out of them, but like to give them like a little book that has like some of the notes.
That's more of a reason to do it. Embarrass them.
That's right. That's right. That'll keep you. That'll keep you out of the bars.
Pick it up and like read it. And they're like feeling lonely.
I can't get a date.
God,
look, I know why. Because I have my books over here.
Remember, you and I, we used to we also always like towards the end of our day, we were like, be like, all right, time to make our notes.
Oh my God,
and
you're
we were,
right.
Like, get a head start. Remember that?
Yes.
And we would like make our notes. Like, what
oh
are you
my
drawing
God,
today?
pre-COVID. Yeah, you and I used to have like the color pencils.
Yes, and we just like color and draw.
Oh my God, that's the thing that I think that was our mental care for ourselves. That was our emotional stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, that's hysterical. Oh my God,
that was a good time.
What about like tough moments or in the car? Like, how do you? Oh man, how do you? I feel like you guys are so good at that stuff.
I feel like with Sophia, there are times that there's something going on in her phone, and I see that she's upset or she's annoyed by something or someone, and I'll be like, Do you want to talk about it?
I hate that phone.
She's like, no, I'm fine. And I'm like, okay. So then leave it alone. And what I do like to do is like go reach over as I'm driving and give her like a little hand a squeeze or her little like kneecap a squeeze. Like, you know, like just kind of like, I'm here.
No
you know,
way.
And maybe I never know what the heck bothered her in that moment. Maybe like days later, months later, she'll tell me. But this, I don't know. I think sometimes like that little like, especially in the car ride, like you obviously I can't like reach over and hug her.
Hold the wheel.
But it's just letting them know like I'm here. Just like a little, like that's all, you know, that or like, or
I think I'm gonna cry.
I know, right?
Yes.
Mike Levine, you are not the Jedi. Sarah D.
Just kind of,
I know.
just like going on, like, you know, on about something they're really upset about. You know, it's just kind of like just listening, you know, and just like, you know, you want to, as a parent, bestow all the knowledge that you have, you know, on them. But you just like sitting there and be like, I hear you, or like sounds really tough, you know, like, or just like let them kind of do that and be like, all right, like, but it seems like you have it like solved, or it seems like you kind of know what's going on, or like, or you feel like that person is crossing a boundary with you. I think that's good you're acknowledging it. Like just not giving advice, but not giving like too much of a robotic response, but like somewhere in between, you know, like just kind of gauging it. Because I think, and I always go back to the conversation I think I mentioned before where Sophia and Brianna had mentioned to me one time. They're like, you don't always listen. You just give advice, blah, blah, blah. And like, they were probably like in 6th grade, 7th grade. And I was just like, right. Like, so that made me always think about like not speaking too much, like kind of just like letting them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they know the situation better than you do, and they have it all under control, but they're just kind of complaining about it, and they don't need a solution, you know?
With the venting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just venting. So just kind of like knowing when to keep my mouth shut because I want to be there to swoop in and save them.
God, Mike Levine and I are like listening to you, and I don't know how he's feeling. I'm like, oh man, I really suck at this. Dude, that was really good advice.
It's hard. There are things that I talk my, you know, I keep, and to the point they're like, stop talking. I'm like, okay, my bad, you know, like.
I know, like the less is more. It's so hard.
I know that. I feel like that's me because like I feel like I'm always giving life lessons or life speeches, right? And then I don't want to be like the parent that they're like, oh, here goes dad with his life speech again.
Like, come on, son, have a seat. We have to chat about it. Yeah.
I know. It's just like, I don't know. I've seen, you know, same with you, Sarah. Like, I've seen a lot, especially with their phones. I hate those darn phones. And, you know, I've seen them have a lot of issues with their friends and some of the things that they've said to them. And, you know, I just want them to know that they can come to me whenever they want, you know? Like, and I will listen and hear and give advice. I just don't want them to kind of shut me out, you know, and think that they can't come to me. I think that's my fear because, you know, I've noticed a lot of things on the kids' phones and that has kind of altered or, I don't want to say altered, but kind of changed my kids' attitudes, you know, depending on what their friends are saying to them. And had I not noticed this, you know, things could have gotten worse, you know, or, but I confronted them about it. We talked about it. And, you know, things have gotten better after the fact, after we talked about it. But it's like, why didn't you come to me before? You know, why did I have to notice something? Like, I'm trying to get you to understand that if you have problems, you have anything going on, you can always come to me.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's like something that I feel like you hear this all the time, and it's like I wonder about that too. Like I think about that because like how do you like play the guessing game versus like trying to wish that they would just kind of say stuff. But I think that's so common. Like they want to feel like they can handle it on their own, whether they can or they can't. Yeah. But I think it's so natural for kids to feel like they're at this age now and they're looking around and they feel like whatever influence TV or online or friends, I feel like they have to feel like ownership, like they have to be like the big kid or the adult, and they want to be able to solve it without your help. And I think it's such a detriment. I kind of totally agree, because I feel like there is like this invisible like moment where you're trying to figure out, like, you're kind of looking at them, and I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I guess completely wrong. And I'm like, what's bothering you? Like, nothing. Like, oh, in a good mood. Oh, you're in a good mood. That doesn't look like you're okay. No,
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm just saying that as a figure of speech. That's what we say. I'm in a bad mood too. I'm in a good mood.
You know, and
I yell when I'm happy.
You know what's also frustrating is that they come to you sometimes, like they may come to you sometimes to talk about whatever, and like when they come to you, you feel great. You're like, oh yeah, I got this, you know, and then you're like nervous.
Do you say play it cool? Play it cool, man. Play it cool.
Exactly. I feel
Don't
like
react.
this is like a first date. I
No,
feel
you're like,
like,
I'm gonna mess it
God.
up. I'm gonna mess it up.
Oh no! Don't mess it up.
She's
Don't
gonna
take
know.
too
She's
much.
gonna
Don't
find
take
out.
too little.
They'll say,
Make sure you
yeah.
get your point across.
Eye contact.
Don't bother
Am I staring
them.
too long?
Yes.
No. All right. Should I pay for the? No. Okay. Did she want an appetizer?
And I think it's like this. I think it's like this whole like preteen to teenage stage, right? It's like when they were younger,
When they're 20s.
they thought. When they were younger, they thought you were the world, right? You knew everything. Mommy, daddy could fix everything. If there's a problem, go to mommy. They run to you, right? Like they're crying, you hug them, whatever. Now that they're in middle school, high school, it's like, mommy doesn't know what I'm talking about. Daddy doesn't know what I'm talking about. You know, like,
Right.
And it's like,
Well, you had a good run.
yeah, we had a good run, and you want them to keep coming to you, and they, you know, I don't know. In the Levine household, you kind of feel them, like, kind of detaching, in a sense, you know, and thinking that they can solve their own problems, and which is great because that's what we do as parents, essentially, right? We're teaching them to like face the world on their own, right? But I don't know. You just want them to keep coming back.
You know what though? I hate to say
You know?
it because this is like this is a rough moment. It's because it's doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be. They're supposed to be becoming independent. They're supposed to be pulling away. And you know, this way when you throw them out of the nest, they fly instead of hit the ground. You know. It doesn't make it easier,
man.
right?
It's hard. Nope, it does not.
No, it doesn't, and it's just scary because you know the world. The world's a scary place. Things that are said to your children, things that are done in front of your children. You just hope that they make the right choices, and if they need any help, that you're there for them.
Yeah, but I think you brought up a good point. But the thing that I noticed too is like sometimes when they come to you, it's either that they kind of did it on their own and they're kind of just checking in to let you know what they did, or they got like a compliment from somebody and how they did it, like a teacher maybe, or they're in so deep that they need to kind of come.
I need help. I need help now.
Yeah, like, well, I'm in this situation now. There's no way out, so now I need you.
Yeah. No, like it's true. Like the other day, I ask our kids every day, like, oh, how was your day? Tell me about it, whatever. And everybody's like, good, done. Like, don't want to tell me anything. And then the other day, Lucas comes through the door. Dad, I need your help with something. I got to talk to you about something. I'm like, okay,
like, put me in,
let's
coach.
do this.
Oh, you need me. Okay.
Mike Levine just like throws the food he's cooking on the floor. I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
Yes. So it's nice.
It's a day I've been dreaming for. What do you want to talk about? It's like, oh, no, I need to ride somewhere. I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, man. I feel like the little things, like, like Sara mentioned, like with the car ride, I'm like mentally like taking notes, and I'm like, this is really smart. The thing that I think like sometimes is like that comforting, like providing comfort in a way is kind of like sometimes like for me, this may come as a shock. Like for me, like food is like my love language for others. I like make things for people. So like for me, like sometimes like, I think like just at the beginning of the week or ask them like, hey, why don't you choose? What do you want? What do you want for dinner this week? What's something to make you happy? And then, or just kind of trying to surprise them with like their favorite dish. Some of my kids, I don't know what that is yet. Still working on that meeting stuff. But like for me, like I don't know. Like when I was growing up, I feel like when my mom would make like my favorite dish, whatever. Like I don't know, it made me really happy. Like there was something about it. Like, Mom, I appreciate you. I don't know if you want to listen to our podcast or not, but
I don't know if you ever saw a Paul Blart Mall Cop, but in that there's this one scene where his mom asks him, "Do you want me to make you anything to feel better?"
Oh, really?
And he's like, "No." He's like, "No, I'm good." And he walks away. He's like, "Oh, maybe you can make the sweet potatoes, with the end,
really?
and maybe a little pie." I gotta get you the clip because it's so true.
It is.
I was the same. I was the same way. Like, if I'm feeling down, and I just want a nice meal from mom to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Mom would always make something good or anything that I wanted when I was down, and it just made you feel better.
Yeah, like being like, the Jewish guy. I feel like when my kids aren't feeling good, I feel like the instant moment, like, oh, someone's got a cold, quick, and I grab my superhero cape and I'm like, I'm making soup. And then, it's like chicken soup. God, it's on. I'm going to the store. I'm buying chicken parts. But it's chicken parts. Sounds like I'm buying for a car. Chicken parts. Like you need the actual chicken on the bone. But there's something about like that, or like even like when they have a big event at school, they're doing a presentation. I'm like, yo, you need a shirt. And then I'll get the cricket and I'll make some. I want them to have like a kick-ass, gotta have a good shirt in there somewhere. Something about that. I don't know. I guess it's like, making them feel good without them realizing that they didn't have to ask for it. I guess that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, that's that. See that, but that's that little extra that Michael Heit, the amazing dad, does. He goes.
Whoa! Wait, where's my wife? Did you hear that?
Say it louder. Say it louder.
Say it louder.
No, because kudos to you,
this
man.
Award,
this guy, making shirts, doing all the little extra, lovey stuff. It's great, man.
But it's a day-to-day stuff.
They're gonna remember that.
You're the best.
They're gonna remember that.
But it's the day-to-day stuff that my wife seems to do that I seem to do not a great job at sometimes. That's the stuff that really pulls the weight in our family. In case she was listening to this part of the episode.
Well, it's a team effort.
It is a team effort.
It's because let me tell you, I sometimes want to, go in a nice little corner with a blanket, and say, I did my best.
I tried.
Speaking of blankets, do you ever? We all need to tuck in Mike Levine. Do you guys at night ever when the kid's asleep, kind of just pop in the room, check on them, and then you kind of readjust the blankets or make sure they're cozy, or do a little, or physically push them away from the edge of the bed.
Give them a little extra tuck.
Yes. Tuck. Well, definitely. Yeah. At night, I don't read books anymore and
Come here,
like that.
Sophia.
But
sit on my lap. Yeah.
Right. But I do like to check in. Just a little pop in, hey, anything you need. All right, love you. Little kiss. Especially with Sophia, because she's up later and doing work, and I'm going to bed before her.
Right. It's a weird feeling, right?
It is very strange, but walk in, hey. Usually sometimes it's like, blah blah blah. She got something to tell me, or she's like, what?
Hey girl, hey, we're talking. No, okay.
I'm like, I just want to say hi, love you, good night, kisses,
what you doing?
I do that too. I like to harass her.
I know. Okay.
Usually depends on her mood. I'm welcomed or not.
Right.
Exactly.
But just a little quick check-in, because I just want lay eyes on them one more time before I go to sleep.
Oh yeah.
I like that. And then when they rise up in the morning, you got their favorite cereal and their bowl ready for them, and they're waiting with their little card. Then maybe they'll
little card
check out or not.
Right.
So this is kind of fun. I think we had a good chance to kind of sit together and chat about the things that that we do behind the scenes to make our kids feel like a little bit better. Maybe someday down the road, when they're giving their grandiose speech at our 80th birthday party, they'll tell us just how maybe we did a couple things. Who even knows? The question this week is, what are the small things that you do as parents that maybe go unnoticed that you do to make your kids happy? You know what to do. Hit the show notes. All the info is there. So the next part of our show, it is called Time to Unplug. This is where we talk about the things that are going on outside of our children. Maybe they're upstairs studying. Maybe it's late. We're hanging out with their spouse. Maybe it's Saturday night. We tell the kids, go away, do something, because we're hanging out with them. It gives us a chance to decompress, because you'll be a better we if you take care of me. Sarah D, what do you have for us today?
Okay, what I got for you today is watching Dinosaurs on Netflix.
Yes.
Lucas is gonna kick the door down and be like, "What'd you say?"
I know. So, you know, this is where I get my little nerd on. I love me a documentary. I love me some animals, even if they are prehistoric. And this has been something that kept me entertained and fascinated all at once. And man, those dinosaurs, they've been through some things. You know,
it's nice to have it on in the background.
Dinosaurs.
Too. It's just nice to have
Oh my
it.
God.
Yeah, like soothing.
I want Sarah to relate dinosaurs to parenting. The dinosaurs, they've been through some things. It's really, it's like a high production
about
value,
the
right?
murders and stuff like that. What do you say?
They spend a lot of money on this. It seems like they'd be really pushing this. Netflix?
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, I guess so.
You like it?
I just watched it. I did. It was great. It was 4 little episodes. Called it a day. It was worth the while. Get your nerd on.
Was it Jeff Goldblum? Was it like the guy at the Jurassic Park? Is that who narrates it?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it was
In my
Jeff
brain,
Goldblum.
it was Jeff Goldblum. I think I'm always associating him with dinosaurs, but I guess it's because of Jurassic Park.
I forget who it was. I don't. Those are the details I don't.
You're like, stop putting me on the spot. I don't know. I'm always like,
all like that narrator voice.
It's
like,
you're like, I don't know these things. Leave me alone.
Now I just want to watch the dinosaurs. I don't know narrating.
I think of like Peppa Pig's brother. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it sounds great. I want you to that. I'll let you know because we got to discuss about the dinosaurs. Mike Levine, what is going on in the Levine household? Oh, his hands are up. He's ready. It's a field goal. It's March Madness.
Speaking of dinosaurs, listen, I know it's supposed to be time for Unplugged, but I thought it went appropriate. I thought it went appropriate with the show. I bought out of nowhere without my asking my son, and actually because Michael Heit texted me and I didn't know it was on sale. I bought Turok. Which is a dinosaur game.
You did? Oh my God, that's wild.
And I surprised Lucas with it, and we've played it a couple times, and it is really cool. It's a dinosaur kind of like attack you, killing survival game. Pretty cool.
Good for bonding.
And yeah, good for bonding. And it was, I thought it was good and appropriate for the show, But Turok, good Nintendo Switch game. Check it out.
Nice. It's a remaster, is it right? Like a little newer version, newer looking version?
Yeah, it's updated and stuff. So, and it's got like multiple games on it too, multiple Turok versions. So,
So kids of the 90s, I guess you know what to do.
Pick it up.
Oh man.
What about you, Mike? What do you got going on?
I have to. This is such a different kind of game. So I picked up. So I saw this for the Switch like a while ago. They announced that there's this new Pokemon game coming out that like looked like Animal Crossing, and I have to be honest with you, when I first saw it, I sort of made fun of it a lot. I'm like, what are they doing? And then they started showing some like little like trailers and things for it, and I was like, oh, this kind of looks intriguing. At first I was like, oh, Rachel would love this. Like I'm telling my kids, like I'm putting on a show. I don't know why I'm doing it, and I'm like, oh, I think Mommy would like this because she did Animal Crossing and she made the island look really good. And then I'm watching it. I'm like, why am I? I'm like, I want it too. So I picked it up. It is so different than I expected. It's really, really good. There's no combat, but it's not like Animal Crossing. It's not like one island per Switch. It's not like Tom Nook. You take out like like a loan that you can't pay back because Wall Street crashed. It is a game where you are. It's so weird. So all the humans are gone, and you are. I'm not ruining anything. Like this is like what happens in the first 5 seconds. And you're Ditto. Ditto's like the Pokemon that could like look like other Pokemon, and you find the Pokedex, and then because Ditto could change shape, Ditto changes his shape to look like what he thought that his old Pokemon trainer used to look like, and you walk around, and because you're Ditto, you don't have to hear the Pokemon just making noises and saying their names 100 times. They talk to you as a character, and you walk around and you do like little quests and things for the Pokemon, and you develop this like island, and you help them like kind of like whatever things they need, and you actually learn some skills that help you kind of do things. So like if you need to like break rocks up, Machamp, the guy with the boxing glove, teaches you kind of how to break stuff, and then you could like break stuff, and then like you need to like pour water. Squirtle teaches you how to do that, so you can shoot water out. So it's really cool. So you learn all these things, and then you're growing, and you're trying to like figure out what happened to the humans and the trainers, and it's really neat. It's bizarre that you don't do any combat, but you're still like doing things like building out and breaking blocks and like a little Minecrafty. But if anyone out there ever played Dragon Quest Builders 2, it's by the same developers, and it's really good, and I'm digging it, and it's got the perfect combination of like kind of like multitasking, like watch a show while you're playing the Switch, or like with like a little bit of focus, but definitely like the second kind of attention.
That's for the Switch 2?
Switch 2, yeah.
And you can play it on the Switch as well?
You can't play it on the Switch by itself, but it has game share, I believe, and then you could like a second person could play with you. They've got something called like Cloud Islands, where like it's separate from the main game, but like multiple people could play in the same space. Whereas like, you can invite people to kind of check out what you built. You can't really advance the story, but in Cloud Islands you can do it together and do like a little like a separate island that you kind of work on. So it's really cool. I'm loving it. It's like the greatest like whatever they call that, like soothing, not soothing. That's insane. What is that called? Like whatever. Like you know what I'm saying? Like one of the low key games, like the ones that
Yeah, like where you do like farming. And
stuff. Exactly. But this is like, we're not playing Stardew Valley. We're playing this. So I dig it. It's really good.
I like it.
So I think we're just about out of time on this episode, our first episode for season 5. It's been so much hanging out with Mike and Sarah as we learn the secret tricks to making them happy, to packing the lunches, to holding their hands in the car, to yelling because you're happy, to all the things to find out just how to do the small things behind the scenes to make your kids feel good. We'd like to take a moment to thank our listeners and supporters for donating to the show. If you want to help support this show so we keep making episodes like this one, we have a link to donate in the show notes. If you don't have the means to do so, we always appreciate it. We tell your friends, your family about the podcast so we can reach more listeners. Maybe we can learn from them. They can learn from us in this growing community. If you get a chance, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We can't wait to explore this parenting thing with you next week on Hey the Parents, because every week it's an honest discussion about raising kids. Don't forget to hug your kids and charge those Chromebooks. That's going to do it for me, for Mike, and for Sarah, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey the Parents was produced by Mike Levine, Sarah Desirbeans, and me, Michael Heit. I edited and mixed our show. Our intro voice recording was done by the one and only Coltrane. If you like our show, we hope you consider going to the show notes and help support the podcast. Check the show notes for social media information, email, and contacts, and we look forward to seeing you next time.